petition with the Court of Tax Appeals. It was ABS-CBN that filed a petition with the Court of Tax Appeals, as is the right of every taxpayer, and not just ABS-CBN. ABS-CBN complied with the process outlined by the Bureau of Internal Revenue, and with the approval of the BIR, as well as the approval of the Court of Tax Appeals, we entered into compromise agreements as provided for in the tax code and paid the taxes. The fact that these taxes were approved by the court validates the legality of these agreements. It should be pointed out that there were no issues of fraud in the disputed assessments. Had there been such issues, these compromise agreements would not have qualified, would not have been accepted, and would not have been approved by the BIR under the conditions provided for by law. Your Honor, it was alleged that, quote, ABS-CBN Lingkod Kapamilya Foundation is being used by ABS-CBN as a tax shield and that it failed to file donor's tax return and pay the donor's tax. Your Honor, this allegation is false. The ABS-CBN Lingkod Kapamilya Foundation has always been transparent in its efforts to uplift and improve the lives of Filipinos. It is accredited by the Philippine Council for NGO Certification, and its tax exemption has been confirmed by the BIR. The donations it receives are not subject to donor's tax. In closing, we would like to state that, to date, there have been many allegations that ABS-CBN has not paid its proper taxes, but there has been no evidence to that effect. We maintain that ABS-CBN has been paying its proper taxes, and we have complied with the law as prescribed by the BIR itself. Your Honor, availing of tax incentives offered by the government to companies on condition that they are able to fulfill certain requirements is not against the law. Entering into compromise agreements with the BIR, which is expressly provided for in the National Internal Revenue Code, is not against the law. And petitioning the Court of Tax Appeals, a right accorded to all taxpayers, is not against the law. The BIR itself has recently attested, and I quote, as far as ABS account is concerned, they are regularly filing and paying their taxes for the past number of years. Thank you, Your Honor.
Maraming salamat po, ABS-CBN. Ngayon naman po ay pakikinggan naman natin ang isa sa aking mga kababayan mula sa lalawigan ng Bulacan na si Mr. J. Sonsa tungkol sa alleged tax violations ng ABS-CBN. Mr. J. Sonsa, you're now recognized. Sa aking kalalawigan na si Mr. J. Sonsa, you're now recognized. Maaari niyo pong i-unmute yung inyong telepono upang kayo po ay mas marinig.
Chair Jonathan, parang hindi ko siya nakikita si Mr. Sonsa dito sa Zoom. Baka nawala siya, baka pwede siyang balikan na lang maya-maya. Paunahin na natin muna siguro yung BIR para habang nag-aantay tayo kay Mr. Sonsa.
Sige po, Chairman Chikoy.
Pwede pong mauna ang galing po sa BIR para po sa kanilang position. Andyan po kasama natin si Assistant Commissioner Manuel Mapoy. Mr.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Chairman and honorable members of Congress. The Bureau of Internal Revenue is willing to assist or help this honorable committee in whatever capacity we can. However, with all due respect, Mr. Chair, as regards to information pertaining to tax returns of all companies involved here, we cannot divulge anything because it is covered by Section 270 of the National Internal Revenue Code. So unless a waiver is secured or issued by authorized representative of the company, please forgive us if we cannot provide any information, Your Honors.
Maraming salamat po sa taga-BIR.
Clarification, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Congressman Barsaga.
Well, we know the confidentiality of the records of the taxpayer. And that is why we want to ask ABS-CBN Corporation if they are giving permission to the Bureau of Internal Revenue in order to disclose the pertinent tax information regarding the taxes paid by the ABS-CBN.
ABS-CBN, maaari po ba kayong sumagot?
Yes, we are, Your Honor.
Ibinibigay po, excuse me, BIR, kapapahayag lang po ng ABS-CBN na sila ay willing na i-disclose ninyo kanilang financial statements, BIR. BIR?
Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
Opo.
Yes, Mr. Chair. With all due respect, may we know who executed the waiver?
It's Ricardo Tan, Group CFO of ABS-CBN. Your Honor,
And may we know in what capacity he is executing the waiver or whether he is authorized by ABS-CBN board to execute the waiver?
Sorry, Mr. Chair.
Sige po, ipaliwanag po ninyo. Mr. Katigbak, you're now recognized.
Sorry po, Mr. Chair. Kung kailangan po ng BIR ang authorization ng board, we don't have that today. We would have to call a board meeting and ask for their permission po. Kung yan po yung kailangan ng BIR.
Kailan nyo po maibibigay, Mr. Katigbak, dahil maaantala po yung ating hearing kung hindi nyo po ito maibibigay agad?
Kung tatanggapin po ng BIR ang authorization namin as President and as CFO, then we can give it today. But if he requires a board resolution po, the earliest we can do it is sometime tomorrow or Thursday pa po, because we have to call a board meeting.
Yeah.
Baka pwede natin malaman sa BIR kung pwede na po ba yung verbal na authorization ni Mr. Katigbak at ng CFO po natin na nandyan?
With all due respect, Your Honors, but the law is very clear that we need an express waiver coming from authorized representative of the taxpayer. And that authorized representative must be authorized in writing by the company's board.
Sige po, hihintayin namin mula
Mr.
sa
Chairman?
ABS-CBN.
Mr. Chairman?
Kung Barsaga.
Suspended.
No, just an inquiry. Just an inquiry. Can we put this on record?
Kasi si Tan po, yung CFO na nag-execute. Tapos, nagtatanong ako, kailangan ng legal authorization.
Hearing resumed. Yes, Congressman Barsaga.
Mr. Chairman, at siguro the Associate Commissioner of the Bureau of Internal Revenue would confirm this. Nagkaroon ng hearing sa Senado noong February 24. It was fully documented. At doon sa Senate hearing, tinanong ng mga senador kung compliant ang ABS-CBN sa pagbabayad ng taxes. Ang ginawa ng representative ng BIR na si Mr. Cabandac, tumingin siya sa ABS-CBN. Sa kanilang pagtingin, nalalaman na ng ABS-CBN yung confidentiality ng kanilang records at sila ay tumango. Kaya binigay naman ng BIR yung record o yung tax kung ano ang mga taxes na binayad ng ABS-CBN. At sinabi ng BIR na walang accountability ang ABS-CBN insofar as taxes, unpaid taxes are concerned. And I think Associate Commissioner could respond to this. Because this is recorded, I have the tape right now. We hear the statement or the response of the Associate Commissioner of the Bureau of Internal Revenue, or you
Yeah,
Mr. Simplicio Cabantac of the BIR, who was present during the Senate hearing on February 24, 2020.
Mr. Chair, good. Mr. Chair. Yeah, Mr. Chair. If the one that will execute the waiver is Mr. Carlo Katigbak, who is the CEO of ABS-CBN Corporation, then maybe we can issue we can answer all the questions that may be raised by this honorable body.
Maraming salamat po. Chairman Chikoy?
Mr. Chairman, ang sinasabi ng associate ng commissioner ng BIR, ang sasagot sa aming mga tanong ay si Mr. Carlo Katigbak. Paano namin mako-confirm kung
Excuse
tama
me.
ang kanyang statement?
Excuse me po, Congressman Barsaga. Kakasabi lang po ng BIR na kung hinihingi ng CEO ng kung ibinibigay na ng CEO ng ABS-CBN ang waiver sa BIR, ay willing nang sumagot ang BIR sa inyong mga katanungan mamaya. Ibinabalik ko po kay Chairman Chikoy ang pagpipreside. Chairman Chikoy?
Maraming salamat po, Chair Jonathan. So malinaw na
Papayag ba si Mr. Katigbak?
yun nga po. Doon muna papunta kung pili. Tatanungin po natin ngayon si Mr. Katigbak kung willing na po siya execute yung waiver na yon para po makasagot po ang BIR sa mga katanungan ninyo mamaya. Mr. Katigbak.
We're confirming the waiver.
Ayan, Commissioner Mapoy, malinaw na po. Kinonfirm na po ni Mr. Katigbak. So, masasagot na po ninyo freely yung mga tanong mamaya ng ating mga miyembro. Bago po tayo pumunta po sa interpellation, tawagin po muna natin ang PESA para sa kanilang pahayag. Andyan po, kasama natin si Director General Charito Ching Plaza. Nandyan po ba? Sa Zoom.
Okay. Good evening, Your Honors.
Good evening po.
Okay. Good evening, Your Honors, Chairman Alvarez and Alvarado, and the members of the House of Representatives. The Philippine Economic Zone Authority is the one who registered the Big Dipper, which has been the controversy that allegedly ABS-CBN is hiding its taxes from the incentives that we are providing here in PESA. May I show to you, Your Honors, the profile of Big Dipper and what are the incentives that PESA has been providing?
Host, can the host allow us to share screen? May we ask the host to share the screen, to let us share the screen?
Can we present the chart for?
Comsec, pakisabihan po yung host na i-share daw yung screen nila para ma-present yung chart.
While waiting for the chart, Your Honors, let me give you a background of the Philippine Economic Zone Authority. Our investors are the export-oriented companies. And the other group are the eco-zone developers. So economic zone developers and operators, these are horizontal and vertical. So the vertical is where the IT centers, where the IT BPOs as our one of our locator companies or sector are located. So our export companies are engaged into manufacturing, processing, refinery, assembly, tourism, medical tourism, and IT BPO. So Big Dipper, Your Honors, belong to the IT enterprise. It is registered with PESA as IT-enabled creative with creative content, digital film archiving. And the Big Dipper is owned 99% by ABS-CBN. This was registered in September 2009. And The current incentives that it is enjoying is 6 years income tax holiday. So the income tax holiday, meaning zero tax, both national and local, ended in October 2015. So they are now in the under the 5% gross income tax earning. And in the 5% gross income tax, 3% of this is the share of the national government, where ABS-CBN or the Big Dipper will pay direct to the BIR. And the 2%, Your Honors, of the 5% GIE is the share of the local government, where these locator companies are located. As to the number of employees registered or provided jobs by Big Dipper, they have 154 registered in PESA as their employees. And the capital incentives or investment that Big Dipper invested in this company amounted to 149 billion, sorry. Or this is the paid up capital of 149 million 237,668. As to export revenues, so we include the export among the export service incomes of PESA, the export revenues of Big Dipper is 27.7 million US dollars. The total investments that ABS-CBN company or the Big Dipper inputted has totaled to $9.7 million, or Your Honors, this is equivalent to 444.637 million pesos. Okay, here we go. What are the taxes paid by Big Dipper? In 2015 or 2016, Your Honor, they paid from the 5% gross income earning 115,203,519. In 2017, Your Honors, Big Dipper also paid a tax, which is the 5% again of the GIE, of 120,131,207. And in 2018, Big Dipper also paid their 5% GIE of 119,017,444. So again, Your Honor, these total taxes that they paid represents the 5% of their gross income earning, shared 3% for the national government through the BIR, and 2% is the share of the local government, which hosted this ecozone and locator companies. So what is now the status of operation of Big Dipper, Your Honor? It started its commercial operations in November 2009. So it is ongoing. Therefore, Your Honors, Big Dipper, which is 99% owned by ABS-CBN, are compliant with PESA's requirements as to the payment of their taxes represented by the 5% GIE. 3% goes to the BIR, and the record of BIR will attest to this, and 2% goes to the local treasurer of the ecozone host, LGU. So, Your Honor, that's it as far as Big Dipper Digital Content and Design Inc., which is 99% owned by ABS-CBN. It is compliant.
Maraming salamat po, Director General Singh Plaza. Chair Jonathan, wala pa rin po si Mr. J. Sonsa. So baka bukas na lang siya kung sumama siya ulit sa hearing natin bukas. Pwede na po tayo dumako ngayon sa interpellation po kung saan unang-una po na magtatanong ay si Congressman PD Barsaga na binigyan ng additional oras po ni Congressman Tolentino, Advincula, Abaya, Yap at Revilla. Congressman PD.
Maraming salamat sa ating mga chairpersons, pati na sa ating mga guests, at pati na sa ating mga resource persons who belong to different government agencies. Unang-una, let me make this preliminary statement. Naalala ko ang sinabi ng aking professor sa taxation nung ako ay third-year law student. Ang sabi niya, taxation is the lifeblood of every government, and no government can succeed unless it has an adequate system of taxation. And because of this basic principle that taxes are the lifeblood of the government, I also remember that in case of doubt, the doubt must be resolved in favor of the government and against the taxpayer. And I think all lawyers, especially those coming from the ABS-CBN, would agree with what I have said. Nang ako ay mahalal bilang isang public official way back in 1998, aking naranasan at nasaksihan ang katotohanan na ang buhay at dugo ng isang pamahalaan ay magmumula sa buwis na binabayad ng mamamayan pati na ng mga korporasyon. At the time in 1998, as expected, walang pondo ang aming gobyerno, kaya walang panggasto sa aming mga empleyado. It is a hand-to-mouth existence every day. We cannot prosecute any project. And being a practicing lawyer for 22 years, and being the corporate lawyer of several corporations, I know for a fact that in order that my town would succeed, it is necessary that there must be investment. Kinakailangan merong investment ang mga korporasyon because I know for a fact that these corporations, so to speak, will be the golden goose that would lay the golden eggs, na sila ang magbabayad ng taxes. And so the first thing which I have to do is to create an investment which would be conducive, to create a climate conducive for investment. I have to address the peace and order problem, and of course, I have to eliminate red tape. Kinakailangan din walang mga basura. We have to protect the environment, and of course, there should be minimal traffic problem. Fortunately, nagawa ko naman to at maraming nag-invest sa amin. And as a mayor, they know my principle that taxes are the lifeblood of the government. I have been dealing with big corporations like Meralco and Telcos, and I have been telling them that they have to pay their taxes. As a lawyer, ang sabi ko sa kanila, in case you have questions about our assessment, you know what is the remedy. You pay the taxes under protest. We will put the taxes paid, the amount paid in trust, and we will result, and we will antay namin kung ano maging resulta ng desisyon ng husgado. You can verify this with big corporations who have businesses in the city of Dasmariñas. Kaya kung sa aking pagtatanong ay medyo mahigpit ako when it comes to taxation, do not think that I am selective in so far as ABS-CBN is concerned. At humihingi rin ako ng paumanhin kung bakit ako nag-outburst kanina, especially to Carlo Katigbak and to the Assistant Commissioner of the Bureau of Internal Revenue based on this professional and actual experience regarding taxes. Kaya ang una kong sasabihin, katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, nagkaroon ng hearing sa Senado noong February 24. At yung hearing ng Senado noong February 24 about taxes, yun ang naging subject ng news coverage ng TV Patrol on the night of February 24. I have prepared an audio clip of that news of TV Patrol and I'm requesting na kung pwedeng i-play natin. There.
Nilinaw na ng BIR sa committee hearing sa Senado kanina, maayos na nakapagbabayad ang ABS-CBN ng mga buwis. Sa katunayan, isa sa top non-individual taxpayer sa bansa ang kumpanya.
They are regularly filing and paying their taxes for the past number of years.
Ayon sa datos ng BIR, mahigit 14.4 billion pesos na buwis ang binayad mula 2016 at 2019. Bukod pa ito sa corporate income tax 2019 na ihahain pa lang sa Abril. Nasa 8.86 billion pesos rin ang ibinayad sa withholding tax mula 2009 hanggang 2018. Nalinaw rin na walang pananagutan ang network sa NTC.
So, ika-clarify ko muna. Ang sinabi sa news, 14,398,464,000 ang binayaran ng BIR, ang binayaran ng ABS-CBN mula 2016 up to 2019. Tama po ba yun?
Your Honor, I have to just confirm on the numbers for 2019. So I don't have the final figures yet.
Yes. But based on your presentation, ang nakalagay sa iyong presentation, yun ang taxes from 2016 up to 2019. You can refer to your records because sinulat ko ang inyong pertinent data sa inyong presentation. We have the same figures. Gusto ko lang malaman kung yan ay kasama ang taxes sa 2019.
Your Honor, the period covered for the 14 plus billion was 2016 to 2018, not 2019.
Pero iba yung presentation mo kanina. It's up to 2019.
Hanggang 2018 lang po yung correct figure.
Mali yung kanina. It should be 2016 up to 2018.
That's correct.
Oh. And 2016 up to 2019, ang tax na binayad ng ABS-CBN is 14 billion 398,464,316 pesos and 66 centavos. Tama po ba?
Your Honor, we have a different computation.
Pero ito ang binigay nyo sa TV News Patrol eh. Oh, gusto niyo i-replay ko ulit? Ha?
Hindi po, Your Honor. We just...
May ask for a replay. At itigil natin doon sa amount na sinabi ng ABS-CBN. Replay please of the video clip. Okay.
Nilinaw na ng BIR sa committee hearing sa Senado kanina, maayos na nakapagbabayad ang ABS-CBN ng mga buwis. Sa katunayan, isa sa top non-individual taxpayer sa bansa ang kumpanya.
They are regularly filing and paying their taxes for the past number of years.
Ayon sa datos ng BIR, mahigit 14.4 billion pesos na buwis ang binayad mula 2016 at 2019.
Oh. So, do you agree with that figure of 14,398,464,316.66 na sinabi ng ABS-CBN sa News Patrol noong February 24.
Your Honor, could we kindly request for a little time to validate the exact figure? We can have the exact figures here, Your Honor.
I mean to say, pati yung TV News Patrol cannot be relied upon sa sinasabi nilang taxes na binayaran nyo? Is that the impression which you want to give to us?
Hindi po, Your Honor. We just want to make sure we have the exact. May I request that my colleague, Mr. Aldrin Serrado, be recognized?
Okay. Well, anyway, I relied on the audited financial statements which you have given to the committee. And I have a small presentation regarding the figures na kinuha ko doon sa financial statements nyo. Unang-una, dalawa ang set ng financial statements na binigay nyo sa amin. Isang ABS-CBN Corporation and subsidiaries. Kaya ang una kong tanong, ilan ba ang subsidiaries ng ABS-CBN Corporation?
Your Honor, we have 14. 14. Reporting.
You have only 14 subsidiaries.
Your Honor, we have 14 that are reporting the, yes, Your Honor.
Oh, okay.
Your Honor, sorry, may I request that my colleague again be recognized to answer this?
Ang tanong ko, ilan ang subsidiaries ng ABS-CBN Corporation doon sa inyong consolidated statements of income na binigay nyo rito sa committee?
Your Honor, may I be recognized? My name is Aldrin Serrado. Your Honor, yung pong subsidiaries na sinasabi nyo is actually in our notes to the financial statements. This is more or less po, pag tinignan nyo, this is close to a little over 50 po. I don't have the exact number, but I can count it po now because it's listed.
Okay, ilagay muna natin ang basis. When we speak of subsidiaries, they are actually corporations. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Your Honor.
Okay. And because they are corporations, ang personalidad nila ay iba sa personalidad ng ABS-CBN. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Your Honor.
And because they have different personalities, yung assets nila at liabilities will not be considered as assets and liabilities or capital of ABS-CBN Corporation. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Your Honor.
Okay. And they are considered subsidiaries because ABS-CBN, more or less, is the controlling stockholder of the so-called subsidiaries. Tama po ba yun?
Tama po, Your Honor.
Okay. And because they have a different personality, nagpapile din sila ng income tax different from the income tax and financial statements being filed by ABS-CBN Corporation. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Your Honor.
Okay. Requesting for the presentation, next presentation of the figures. Diyan sa board, diyan sa ating presentation, nandyan ang consolidated statements of income, ABS-CBN Corporation and subsidiaries. Tiningnan ko na ang mga pertinent financial statements. Ang total revenue for 2016 was 41, this is in billions. Are these in billions? Yung ba si billions? Or millions only? Total revenue.
The amount po for 2018 is 40,130,592. That is the consolidated revenue of ABS-CBN
Okay.
and its subsidiaries.
So ito, ABS-CBN Corporation, kasama na yung 50 subsidiaries. Ang total revenue nila for 3 years is 122 billion. At ang kanilang net income before tax, total for 3 years, 10,597,000,000. At yun naman provision for income tax is only 2,072,000,000. At yung net income nila is 8,597,134,000. Lahat ng figures na to were taken from the financial statements submitted to this committee by ABS-CBN. Then I will go to the next slide. Iyan naman yung ABS-CBN Corporation Parent Company Statements of Income. 2016, 2017, 2018, the total is 69,997,323. Pagkatapos, ang inyong gross profit, 25,814,481. The net income before income tax is 9,925,301. And provision for income tax is 1,397,343. Net income, 8 billion for 3 years. Ang pinagbasihan ko nito, and you can make the necessary comparison, ay yung audited financial statements na sinubmit ng ABS-CBN to this committee. And then, I took also the liberty of going on your annual income tax return of ABS-CBN Corporation. Next slide, please. Next, please. Annual income tax return of ABS-CBN Corporation. 2016 up to 2017 up to 2018, ang total income tax due 1,117,562. Less total credits, etc. Net taxable will be negative 1,079,276. Total amount payable, 0 for the last 3 years. At ang pinagbasihan ko nito ay yung annual income tax return na binigay nyo rito na nanggaling sa Bureau of Internal Revenue. Kaya ang tanong ko lamang, saan nyo kinuha yung sinasabing 14,398,464,316.66 na di umano ay binayad ng ABS-CBN Corporation for the last 3 years. I'm giving this statement unless you are ready to answer.
I'm ready to answer, Your Honor. Your Honor, yung pong number that we referred to earlier in the presentation are the total taxes paid of ABS-CBN. These are different forms of taxes po.
So, danda lang tayo. Ano yung different forms of taxes?
Is this included po income tax, value-added tax, withholding tax on compensation, expanded withholding tax, final withholding tax?
So, number 1, income tax.
Opo.
Okay.
Value-added tax.
Value-added tax.
Opo.
Letter C.
Po.
Next.
Withholding tax on compensation.
Withholding tax on compensation.
Expanded withholding tax.
Expanded withholding tax.
Final withholding tax.
Final
withholding tax.
Okay.
Po. and other taxes and licenses.
Mahirap yung other taxes and licenses. Ano yung other taxes and licenses?
That would include po yung mga real estate taxes, local business taxes, and other forms of taxes po na maliliit.
Ang sinasabi natin, income taxes. Okay, una, bigyan kita example. Withholding tax on compensation. Ano ba yung sinasabi nating withholding tax on compensation?
As a withholding agent po of the government, ABS-CBN withholds taxes from compensation and then remits it to the government as payment.
So yung withholding tax on compensation, kaninong pera yun? Yung ba pera ng empleyado o pera ng ABS-CBN?
Well, technically po, it's actually part of the compensation expense po ng ABS-CBN.
Oo nga, pero kanino yung portion ng withholding tax? Yung ba portion ng share ng ABS-CBN o share ng empleyado?
Ito po ay withholding tax on compensation of employees po.
Employees. And that is part of the salaries of the employees.
Opo.
Oh yes. So sa madaling sabi, hindi yung taxes paid by the ABS-CBN because that is a tax. Binabayad nyo lamang pero kinaltas nyo sa inyong mga empleyado.
If I can explain lang po, although this is withholding on the compensation, but the responsibility po of paying those taxes is with the holding agent, and in this case po, it's...
Natin yon, ang simple lamang, ang sinabi nyo, binayad ng ABS-CBN 14 billion. Ang impresyon ng ordinaryong mamamayan, 14 billion ng inyong pera ang inyong binayad. Pero ngayon, sinasabi nyo, withholding on compensation. That is not the money of ABS-CBN, that is the money of the employee, which under the law, you're required to withhold.
Tama po.
Okay. But, value-added tax. Tell us, para marinig ng ating mga kabayan, ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng value-added tax?
These are taxes po on sales. This is the 12% value-added tax.
Sino ang nagbebenta? ABS ba o yung supplier nyo?
ABS-CBN po.
Ha?
ABS-CBN po.
ABS-CBN ang nagbebenta.
Opo.
What do you sell?
We sell po airtime. We sell po other products.
So I will be requesting kung ano yung value-added tax for 3 years na sinasabi nyo. Pati yung withholding tax. What about the expanded withholding?
These are, ang expanded withholding tax naman po are withholding taxes on services and services and goods. Services rendered po. Ito po yung expanded withholding tax.
So, sweldo rin na wini-withhold nyo because under the law, you are required to expand the expanded withholding, hindi ba?
Tama po.
Tama. So, gusto lang namin malaman, ano ba talaga yung...
If I may correct lang po, hindi po siya necessarily sweldo rin. Because these are...
Kaya nga, we want to know. Kasi ang sinasabi sa akin, kung PD, ang laki naman pala ang binabayad ng ABS-CBN, 14 billion. Bakit hindi nyo pa, bakit kinakailangan nyo pang questioning yung taxes? Kasi ang sinabi nyo, taxes paid by the ABS-CBN.
But if I may refer lang po to our tax counsel, si Attorney...
Hindi, pero alam naman natin, when we speak of tax payment, it presupposes that you have an obligation. And the payment of money comes from you. Pero dito, hindi sa inyo nagagaling ang pera. Nire-remit nyo lamang ang mga perang binawas nyo doon sa mga persons to whom you have a transaction. Well, anyway, to clarify everything, I want to know the breakdown. Okay?
Okay po, Your Honor.
What else? Panyero.
Your Honor, may we ask for our tax counsel, Attorney Carag, to be recognized?
Mr. Chair, if I may just explain the withholding tax and the cradle withholding tax and the expanded withholding. Okay. Your Honor, we agree with your statement that the withholding tax is a tax due on the salaries given to the employees, Your Honor. and that the employer, ABS-CBN, is just the withholding agent. And being a withholding agent, it is its responsibility to withhold and to remit. Same with the expanded withholding tax. It's a tax on the payments made to the supplier of goods and services to the ABS-CBN, Your Honor. But the reason the creditable withholding tax and expanded withholding taxes were included among the tax payments made or remitted by ABS-CBN, Your Honor, is that it's just to drive home the point that because of the business of ABS-CBN, then it was able to employ these employees from which they derive salaries and be able to make income payments to the government, Your Honor. Same with the suppliers of goods and services to the company, Your Honor. Because without the business of ABS-CBN, then these employees and these suppliers of goods and services would not have income to be received from the company, Your Honor. So that's just the point that we would want to state, Your Honor.
Actually, we agree. Hindi natin pinagtatalunan yan. Ang pinagtatalunan natin, tama ba na itong taxes na to paid by ABS-CBN? Although, pera yan, hindi ng ABS-CBN, but ABS-CBN is just withholding the money belonging to third persons, which under the law, you have the right, the obligation to withhold and to remit. As a matter of fact, i-issue nyo lang naman yung tax credit, hindi ba? On withholding tax.
That's right, Your Honor. That's
tama ba yun?
That's right, Your Honor. That's why we use the term paid or remitted, Your Honor.
Okay. So, I'll just request, because masyadong malayo itong 14 billion as compared sa taxes paid. As a matter of fact, based on your financial statement, dito sa last 3 years, tax credit pa kayo. Tama ba?
If I may answer po, the tax credit refers to naman po sa withhold sa amin.
Okay,
it's actually actual taxes po na binayaran namin in advance po. It's not something po na...
I'll deal with that later on, okay? Kasi marami pa tayong pag-uusapan. Block time to Ankara. 2016, 2017, 2018 financial statements. Ito ang subject of inquiry na aking napanood kahapon. Block time fees paid by the company to Ankara, 34 billion 964 2016-2015 to 17 and 2018. Well, tiningnan ko itong Ankara Broadcasting Corporation. And I was a little bit surprised. Kasi dati ito, Ermita Electronics Corporation. Naging Ankara Broadcasting Network ERA. And then, ang nakalagay sa kanila, sa Wikipedia, 3 years later, in 1996, MTV Asia, etc., and Channel 23 started test broadcast in September 1966 with rebroadcast of the new MTV Asia from Singapore. A month later, it launched its own programming under a station name Studio 23 and adopted the slogan Premium Television. 5 years later, MTV Asia acquired a new local UFC and Studio 23 formally became a full station. And on July 12, 2010, ABS-CBN Corporation announced the formation of each broadcast television subsidiary, officially named Studio 23 Network. The Ankara name will cease to be used as terrestrial broadcaster as well as block timer agreement, though existing Ankara Broadcasting Network studios will keep the name. On October 23, 2010, ABS-CBN Corporation officially announced that the integration of their UHF-TV network operations as well as Amkara Broadcasting Network has been completed, and the two entities will merge into one under the name Studio 23 Network and will operate under the business name of Studio 23 Incorporated. Tama ba itong nabasa ko sa Wikipedia?
I will have to confirm that information po, Your Honor. But I know it's in our financial statements, Your Honor, but I will just have to look at it again and review it. I think you're referring to a 2010 financial statements.
Ito lamang history muna ng Amkara at saka ABS-CBN. Nakalagay rin sa Wikipedia, on October 23, 2010, ABS-CBN Corporation officially announced that the integration of their UHF-TV network operation as well as Amkara Broadcasting Network has been completed, and the two entities will merge into one under the name Studio 23 Network and will operate under the business name of Studio 23. Tama ba to o mali?
I think mali po siya. I would have to check the information if it's in Wikipedia, because we do not maintain the Wikipedia of ABS-CBN. Those are probably contributed information by you.
Next question. 2016, 2017, 2018, nagbabayad kayo ng block time sa Amkara.
That's correct, Your Honor.
What about 2019?
We still pay, Your Honor.
Pero ang nakalagay rito, on January 24, 2019, ABS-CBN divested its 49% stake in Amkara to one of the majority stockholders, Rodrigo B. Carandang, who is also the chief of TV5 Network Engineering. ABS-CBN has also stopped paying block time fees to Amkara based on their 2019 third quarter financial report.
Your Honor, you're referring also to a Wikipedia
No, I'm asking you, noong 2019, nagbabayad pa ba kayo ng block time sa ABS-CBN Corporation? Sa Amkara?
Yes, Your Honor. I think what happened then was in 2019, after the divestment of ABS-CBN, Amkara po is no longer a related party, kaya po nawala sa disclosure.
What about prior to the divestment? Nagbabayad kayo sa Amkara?
Nagbabayad po, Your Honor.
2019, hindi na.
Nagbabayad pa rin po.
Up to the present?
Opo, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll verify that. Ay, wala na yung aking notes. Okay. Then let's go to Republic Act 7966. This is the franchise of ABS-CBN. And I will be referring to Section 8 of your franchise issued by Congress of the Philippines. Under Section 8, ABS-CBN shall pay a franchise tax equivalent to 3% of all its gross receipts of radio, television business transacted under this franchise by the grantee. Simple lang ang tanong ko, nagbabayad ba kayo ng 3% gross receipts?
In lieu po of the franchise tax, ABS-CBN po pays value-added tax.
Where did you get that?
I don't have the details of the law, but can I refer to Attorney Carag po to explain why in lieu of franchise tax we're paying VAT?
Your Honor, because when the VAT law was passed, it superseded the franchise tax provided in the legislative franchises of telecom and broadcasting companies, Your Honor.
When was the VAT law approved? Passed the VAT law.
To contextualize your query, Your Honor, so before the passage of the VAT law, I would assume that the company has paid the franchise tax, Your Honor. But after the passage of the VAT law, then the VAT took the place of the franchise tax, Your Honor. So I think it was, I cannot exactly recall, Your Honor. I think it's in under the 1997, in 1997, Your Honor.
1997.
I'm not sure, we have to check again, Your Honor.
So
Because-
it is explicit. With the passage of the VAT law, nakalagay ron yung prangkisang 3%, yung nakalagay na 3% na dapat nyong bayaran ay hindi nyo na dapat bayaran because of the VAT law.
That's correct, Your Honor. In fact, the 3% is more favorable to taxpayer, Your Honor, but because of the VAT law, the taxpayer has no choice but to pay a higher tax of 12% VAT, Your Honor.
19,
When the VAT law was first enacted, Your Honor, I think it's 1997, so.
1997.
Yeah, we have,
And your franchise was issued when?
franchise.
1995, Your Honor.
May we request confirmation from the Associate Commissioner of the Bureau of Internal Revenue regarding this issue?
BIR?
Good evening, Your Honors. With permission of Mr. Katigbak, the the taxes that is being paid by ABS-CBN was based on Section 119 of the tax code, that is tax on franchise. In lieu of the 3% franchise tax, they opted to pay the value-added tax. They have the option to choose whichever they want to pay. And that option belongs to the taxpayer or to ABS-CBN Corporation for that matter.
So that is expressly provided under the VAT law.
Yes, Your Honor.
What
Tax code, Your Honor. Tax code, Your Honor. Section 119, Your Honor.
Okay. And more or less, what would be the percentage of the VAT?
The same, Your Honor. The basis is 12%, but of course they can always deduct. Your Honor. Your Honor. Am I clear, Your Honor? Am I clear, Your Honor? Do you hear me, Your Honors? Yeah, the tax rate, I'm sorry, Your Honor. The VAT rate remains the same, it's 12%, but as always, we can't hear you, Your Honor.
Oh, please continue.
Yeah, the VAT rate, Your Honor, stays at 12%, but as always, the taxpayer can always deduct the input tax from the 12%.
So what would be the basis of the 12%?
Yeah, the VAT law, Your Honor. The tax code, Your Honor. It is clearly stated in the tax code that the VAT rate is 12%. But again, Your Honor. But again, ABS-CBN Corporation or any radio and television broadcasting companies for that matter has the option to choose whether they will opt to pay the 3% franchise tax or the value-added tax. And that is clearly stated under Section 119 of the Tax Code, Your Honor.
Ang ano po ano ang base ng 12%?
Yes. The gross sales, Your Honor, the gross sales.
So sales.
Gross sales or gross receipts, Your Honor.
So kung merong gross sales na 1 billion, 12% of that would be
The output tax, Your Honor. So the 12% should be based on the gross receipts, and that is called output tax, less the input tax, Your Honor.
so to shorten
Yes, Your Honor.
that the gross sales is 1 billion.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor. Multiply by 12%, so that is 120 million, Your Honor.
Okay?
And they can always deduct the accumulated input taxes based on their purchases and other expenses, Your Honor, to arrive at the net VAT payable.
Okay? Could you please give us a comparison? Of
Yes, just like
we will request the ABS-CBN to show to us the value added tax, the VAT tax, in lieu of the 3% gross under the franchise. Can you do that, compañero? The tax expert.
Your Honor, are you asking for how much was paid for value-added tax? This is the VAT returns that ABS-CBN prepares on a monthly
what year?
basis. We do this for every year. For 2018 po, we paid 942 million in value-added tax. In 2017, we paid 1,250,000,000. In 2016, we paid 1,482,000,000, Your Honor.
Could you just give us that document?
The VAT returns po?
Yes.
Sige po, for 2016, 17, and 2018.
18. And we will just want to have a confirmation coming from the Bureau of Internal Revenue regarding the amount quoted by the representative of ABS-CBN. Associate Commissioner?
Your Honor, can I request po ba na pwede po bang yung annual VAT return or you still want the monthly VAT return?
No, only the annual.
Thank you po, Your Honor.
Is that duly received by Bureau of Internal Revenue? Stamp received by the BIR?
Meron po kaming, what you call this, payment form, pero electronic na po ang payment. So hindi na po siya stamped received by the BIR.
Shit.
Yun po yung pwede kong ibigay na
Okay.
payment form. But the payment form po is monthly, and then there's an
Then you
annual
just
VAT return.
consolidate
Okay, sir.
for every month, 12 months in 1 year. Oh,
Attorney
the
Becerra?
young lady is raising her hand.
Your Honor, I just want to state that the Supreme Court has confirmed the liability of ABS-CBN as subject to VAT in one case. No, that's the case of Quezon City and City Treasurer of Quezon City versus ABS-CBN Broadcasting Corporation, which was decided in 2008. And that is pursuant po, Your Honor, to Section 118, which provides for a 10 million threshold of gross receipts. That's why ABS-CBN is subject to VAT.
Who are the parties to that case?
The parties po are Quezon City and City Treasurer of Quezon City versus ABS-CBN.
And who filed the case in court? In the court of origin, who was the one who filed the case, ABS-CBN, against the Quezon City government?
I think it's ABS.
You are citing a record. There are only two parties.
Yes.
The plaintiff and the defendant or the petitioner or respondent. The case is started before the regional trial court. And according to you, the parties are ABS-CBN and Quezon City government. So my question is very simple. Sino ang nagdemanda? ABS-CBN Corporation.
Yes po, Your
Okay.
Honor.
Who won in the RTC?
Your Honor, I have to provide the detail, look back into the case because I don't have all the details, Your Honor.
But the trouble is that you cited a case before the Supreme Court.
Yes po.
If you will just be reading the decision of the Supreme Court, then you will know the parties. The court ako, where the case originated. Kung sino nanalo sa RTC, kung sino nagdala sa Court of Appeals, and who brought the case before the Supreme Court.
Yes po.
That's the job of every lawyer. So ngayon, hindi mo alam yun kung sino nanalo sa RTC, kung ABS o Quezon City Government.
Alam niyo ba? I don't know.
You don't know. Ikaw nag-cite ng
Okay.
kaso eh.
Just lang po to state about the liability to
Oo nga,
pay
pero
the VAT.
sinasabi nga natin, decision niya ng Korte Suprema.
Yes
Ang tanong
po.
ko lamang, sino nag-file ng kaso sa RTC? ABS ba or Quezon City?
My understanding, Your Honor, is ABS-CBN.
ABS.
Yes
Sino
po.
nanalo sa RTC?
Your Honor, unfortunately, I don't have all the details,
yun ang problema
but I
natin.
can, look at it. And
Pero kung
inform
binasa
you.
niyo yung kaso na sinited mo, you can answer all these basic questions. Panyara, sorry. I have to be honest with you.
Your
What's the
Honor,
case?
Your Honor, if I may say something lang po. Regardless po dun sa VAT returns that you're asking, we submitted it po together with all our other submissions.
Okay, we'll verify that.
So it's with COMSEC na po.
So it's on a month-to-month basis.
Monthly VAT return, quarterly VAT return, and then the
Is
annual.
there a consolidated yearly return?
It has to be added po, Your
Kaya
Honor.
nga,
Kasi
kami
returns
papag-add.
po ito.
Kaya nga sinasabi ko, para madali tayo, yearly na lamang.
Sige, sige po. But the VAT returns po, Your Honor, are with COMSEC already.
Oo nga, kaya nga, yung yearly lamang.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because you have been presenting voluminous documents here. Hindi lamang 3 filing cabinet na. Then we go to ABS-CBN convergence. And I think Carlo Kadikbak would be very familiar with this. ABS-CBN convergence. Based on the articles which I have read, you were the former president of ABS-CBN convergence.
Po, matagal na po yan. But yes.
Matagal na.
po.
So ABS-CBN convergence has also a franchise.
Expired na po.
Expired na. Ano ang prangkisa nila?
Telecoms franchise po.
Ha?
Telecoms franchise.
The
Multimedia telephony po. Yung,
Multimedia Telephony Incorporated.
yes po.
Okay. Pagkatapos ito, expired na.
Opo.
So you are no longer using ABS-CBN convergence, its franchise, which originated from Multimedia Telephony Incorporated.
Expired na po yung franchise. We have suspended all services attached to it.
So you are no longer using this.
No longer po.
Okay. I will not ask on the alleged violations. I will be reserving that issue to Boying Remulla. Then we have the ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation, and I think this would be more interesting. Who will be the competent person to testify on this, to answer my questions here? ABS-CBN Holdings. So our favorite, Attorney Quezon. To refresh all your memories, this has been the subject of our inquiry regarding PDR.
Yes, Your
We
Honor.
started with Vortec sometime in 1999. Tama po ba?
That's correct, Your Honor.
At pagdating naman ng Setyembre, yung Vortec, pinalitan natin ng ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation.
That's correct, Your Honor.
And also in 1999, in the last quarter, specifically, in the last quarter of 1999, 132 million PDRs, or 132 million shares of stock of ABS-CBN coming from Lopez Incorporated were transferred to ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Oh, that's correct. And based on our previous discussions, binenta to in the sum of 46 pesos for every PDR.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Oh, that's correct also. I reviewed the financial statements of ABS-CBN Holding, and I think the Bureau of Internal Revenue would confirm this. Not a single centavo has been paid as income tax by ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation mula noong 1999 hanggang sa kasalukuyan.
I'm not an accountant, Your Honor, but I'm not an accountant, Your Honor.
Who can answer? Because you have submitted the documents pertaining to ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation. Ang sinasabi ko lamang, yung ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation, mula noong 1999 hanggang sa kasalukuyan, not a single centavo has been paid as part of any income tax. Totoo ba yun o hindi?
Mr. Chair, kasi wala po sa amin ng officer ng ABS Holdings
Hindi,
po.
pag-uusapan natin dito mga taxes eh.
Opo, pero ABS Holdings is not a subsidiary po of ABS-CBN Corp. Kung gusto niyo po, we can invite somebody tomorrow to come to talk about the financials of ABS Holdings. Hindi po sakop ng ABS Corp ang operations or financials ng ABS
Hindi, pero
Holdings.
sinabi niyo rito yung mga subsidiaries niyo eh.
Hindi po subsidiary namin ng ABS Holdings, Mr.
Pero
Chair.
all the shares of stock ng ABS-CBN Corporation ay nasa ABS-CBN Holdings Company. Is that right? Corporation?
Not all in effect po, parang nasa taas pa po ng ABS Corp ang ABS Holdings.
Oh, alam nyo, kaya ako nag-ante rito para matapos na sana yung interpellation ko. Eh kung wala namang answer sa ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation, all the documents were submitted here.
Congressman PD Barsaga, bibigyan po natin ng instruction ng committee secretary na imbitahin ang mga taga ABS-CBN Holdings, pero bukas na po natin magagawa yan at maaari mo pong ipagpatuloy yung iyong pagtatanong kung iyo pong mamarapatin bukas ng tanghali.
So I'll be the first one to continue about ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation. Isa na lamang. Pinag-usapan natin ang financial statement ng ABS-CBN Corporation. At binanggit ni Carlo Katigbak kahapon, more or less 11 million na ang TV Plus box na naibenta ng ABS-CBN Corporation.
9 million po.
Not 11.
Yung 11 po kasama yung Sky Direct.
Okay, 9 million. Sa pagbebenta, na sino ang nagbebenta ng TV Plus?
ABS-CBN Corp po.
ABS-CBN.
Opo.
So the sale is recorded in your books.
Yes po.
And is there any profit sa pagbebenta nyo?
It's largely sold at cost, Your Honor. It's largely sold at cost po.
Started. Pero nung ipagpatuloy nyo, hindi na at cost. You are selling it at cost or not?
Your Honor, we started selling it at cost, but in 2019 po, to be exact, siguro po may margin po na 10 pesos per box.
Yung at cost natin, magkano? Just for the record.
Nagsimula po ito ng 2,500 pesos per box. 2,500 pesos per box. Then bumaba po yung presyo niya sa marketo. At ito pong huli, binibenta namin siya at 1,499.
199.
Opo.
And you had a profit in that price of 1,499.
More or less po, hindi po kalakyan. Siguro po mga 10 piso po per box.
Piso?
Opo. But it's not even enough po to recover the other expenses related to managing the DTT operations.
No, I'm just a little bit curious. Pero bukas siguro I have to discuss the issue pertaining to ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation, because you submitted all the financial documents here, and I would like to have some inquiries regarding ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation. Espanyero, hindi kaya to?
Your Honor, I'm just serving here as tax counsel for ABS-CBN Corp, Your Honor. So I don't have authority to represent ABS-CBN Holdings, Your Honor.
But based on the documents submitted to us, it is also SGB handling the financial statements of ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation. With what accounting firm are you connected?
I'm with a law firm, Your Honor. A law firm, Your Honor. I'm not from the accounting firm, Your Honor.
You are from?
A law firm.
Poblador?
No, Carag, Zabaliero, Llamado, and Abiara Law Offices, Your Honor.
So, with that reservation, Mr. Chairman, I'll continue tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Opo, Mr. Congressman P.D. Barsaga. At kayo po ay natitiran pa ng more or less 10 minutes para bukas.
Masyadong maliit na yun. Marami kasi kaming off-the-record discussion.
Kung po may magpapadagdag, kung meron pa pong magbibigay sa inyo ng oras bukas, ay maaari nating idagdag sa inyong
I would
oras.
just express my gratitude to our resource persons, especially to the government agencies, officers of the government agencies, coming from the Bureau of Internal Revenue and from the PESA. So yung Big Dipper, meron ding mag-a-answer sa inyo. Who? The three of you. Okay? So thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and to all our resource persons.
Maraming salamat po, Congressman P.D. Barsaga, at mula po dyan ay puputulin muna natin ang hearing na ito at ipagpapatuloy natin bukas ng 1:00 ng tanghali at si Congressman P.D. Barsaga po ang kauna-unahan na magtatanong at inaasahan po natin na dadalo na bukas at iimbitahan po natin ngayong gabi ang mga tiga ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation. Ganon din po, inaasahan po natin na si Mr. J. Sonsa ay magbibigay na ng kanyang pahayag bukas. Yes, Congressman Barsaga.
With regard to the news article that ABS-CBN for 2016, 2017, and 2018 has paid 14,316,466, I think the resource persons of ABS-CBN could give to us a breakdown of this 14 billion.
The committee secretary is hereby directed to get the breakdown from ABS-CBN doon po sa sinasabi ni Congressman PD na nagmula sa report mismo ng ABS-CBN na sila ay may binayad na tax na naghahalaga na mahigit 14 billion pesos.
And also, I would like also to request one more, Mr. Chairman. Kalimutan ko tuloy. I would like to request the documents pertaining to the compromise agreement between ABS-CBN and Bureau of Internal Revenue, which was the subject of a case before the Court of Tax Appeals.
Honor, yun pong sinasabi niyo pong 14 billion na sinabi sa TV Patrol, ang nagsabi po noon ay ang BIR. So baka hindi ko po mabuo ang amount noon. Kung yung pong present po nung group CFO namin, mabibigay ko po. Pero yung sa BIR po, hindi ko po maibibigay.
The Assistant Commissioner of the Bureau of Internal Revenue is still around. Mr. Chairman, may
yes,
I
Congressman
make the
Barsaga.
inquiry to the Assistant Commissioner who is on Zoom?
Opo. Assistant Commissioner of BIR.
Good evening, Assistant Commissioner.
Yeah, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Ang sabi ng ABS-CBN, ang nagbigay daw ng figure na 40,398,464,316.66 ay ang Bureau of Internal Revenue. What can you say about that statement of ABS-CBN?
Your Honor, with permission of Mr. Katigbak again, that figure was given by Mr. Cabantac sometimes in 2019, sometimes in February of this year, and that figure is not complete yet. For the period beginning 2016 to 2019, the total taxes paid and remitted by ABS-CBN Corporation amounted to 15,382,423,364 pesos and 16 centavos. When that figure, when the 14 billion something figure was given by Mr. Cabantac, we don't have the complete data yet, Your Honor.
Assistant Commissioner, pwede bang i-present nyo yung taxes paid by ABS-CBN and separately the total taxes remitted by ABS-CBN such as the withholding tax, expanded withholding tax, etc. Because we want to know magkano ba talaga ang binayad ng ABS-CBN as tax coming from their own money to the government. At yun namang nirepeat nila because they are already withholding that and that is not the money in reality of ABS-CBN Corporation. Did you get my inquiry?
Noted, Mr. Chair. We will do that, Mr. Chair. Tomorrow, Mr. Chair.
Tomorrow?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And what time? Before 1 o'clock?
Can we do that before 1? Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we'll be waiting for that at around 12 o'clock.
Yes, Your Honor. With permission from Mr. Katigbak, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much, Assistant Commissioner. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat, Congressman PD Barsaga. At kagaya po ng sinabi ko kanina, bibigyan ka po muli namin ng pagkakataon bukas na magtanong. At ikaw po ang kauna-unahan sa listahan na magtatanong bukas. At inaasahan na yung mga hindi masagot ng ABS-CBN ay masasagot na ng ABS-CBN Holding Corporation bukas. Sa mga nanonood po na mga kababayan natin, lalong-lalo na doon sa may mga panaghoy sa issue ng Meralco, sa mataas na singil ng Meralco, patuloy pa rin po ang Blue Ribbon Committee sa hearing na ito at sana po mabigyan po ng magandang resulta yung hearing po natin sa Meralco. Alam ko pong maraming kaguluhan, lalong-lalo na sa mga nabigla sa mataas na presyo ng kuryente. Ganon din po sa mga nagrereklamo tungkol sa hindi o mabagal na pagtanggap ng social amelioration. Patuloy pa rin po ang hearing po natin sa social amelioration at inaasahan rin po natin na magkakaroon po ng magandang pagbabago doon sa magaganap na susunod na proseso para sa social amelioration. At ganon din po sa ating mga kapatid na OFW, tsaka po yung mga locally stranded na mga Pilipino, inaasahan po natin na hindi lang po puro salitaan yung mangyari sa hearing na ito, ngunit yung resulta po ang mas hinihintay po natin na magmumula po doon sa mga pinatawag na iba't ibang ahensya, siyempre po sa pangunguna na rin ni Speaker Cayetano at ni Pangulong Duterte. Sa lahat po ng gusto pong masubaybayan yung mga hearing pong iyan, patuloy lang pong i-follow yung Facebook page ng Philippine Congress, gayon rin po ng inyong Kuya Jonathan C. Alvarado, paki-like and share lang po. Maraming salamat po. Wala na pong magtatanong ngayong gabing ito. Hit. Bukas ka na po, Congressman Barsaga. Hearing suspended.
Suspended.